Viral skincare trends are everywhere, but are they actually helping your skin or causing more harm? Today, I'm going to be de-influencing you from some of the most popular viral skincare trends, and I'm going to be sharing how they absolutely destroyed my skin so that you don't make the same mistakes that I did. Before we get into it, I just want to say welcome to the BeSoGuud channel, where we're all about elevating ourselves to be our best, both inside and out. It's so good to have you here. Let's dive in. Skincare trend number one is going to be the layering 10 plus skincare, Korean skincare routine, or just layering a lot of products onto one another. I'm actually being extremely vulnerable today coming on camera with what is actually an allergic reaction to a new product that I tried on one side of my face. I'll be covering that in a little bit, but essentially layering a lot of skincare products has become this huge trending thing in like skin talk and just skincare trends in general. It's all about, layering a lot of different layers and just hydrating and all this different mix of things. And there is a lot of reasons why that may not work for your skin. I know a lot of skin influencers, are making a lot of videos with a million different layers. And great, it may work for them. I'm not saying that it doesn't work for them. And if you do that and it works perfectly for you, then go ahead and keep doing it. But then there's also going to be a percentage of other people like myself, or you may be viewing this, that just does not work for your skin. It can create a lot of different problems, like a lot of irritation, which has definitely happened to me in the past. It can create a lot of allergic reactions, like what I'm experiencing today. But basically what happens when you layer so many different skincare products together, a lot of times the formulations just do not mix and match. So it might even be something that standalone on its own you have no problem with, but when you're layering 5 million different things, they can react to one another. They can cause allergic reactions or just irritation or an impaired skin barrier. Sometimes it may not even be immediate. It could be something that happens a day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, a week, or even a month later after using it. And the problem with getting a lot of skin irritation or having an allergic reaction when you're using these skincare, routines that have a million different steps is that you don't know who the culprit is. You don't know what's causing that reaction. You literally don't even know where to start because you have so many different products. They may even be products that worked by themselves, but then when you're combining them, you don't know what's reacting on your skin. So really having a simple skincare routine is so much better for very sensitive, even acne prone skin like myself. Combination, very acne prone, extremely sensitive. I react to just about any fragrance or just random things. For example, like the skin rash that I'm talking about today, I'll try to insert a close-up photo here. But I tried this new moisturizer that just came on in the market. I know that I have extremely sensitive skin and I did all the right things. I patch tested on my wrist for one night, nothing happened. I patch tested on my neck for one night, nothing happened. I patch test on a little area of my face, everything was fine. So then after doing all those individual little patch tests, I decided to just use it on one whole area of my face because I know that my skin is really reactive, and it's happened to me so many times where I've applied something all over and then of course I have a reaction all over my face. So at least I feel like if it's in one area, it can heal and it can be controlled a little better if I do react to it. I used it for the first night, could kind of see that I was like, I don't know, but nothing crazy, nothing bad happened. I just had this gut feeling. I used it for a second and a third night, and lo and behold, on that third night when I woke up, aka this morning, I have this whole kind of red bumpy rash. Same thing in the photo, you'll see there's this little rash even around here. So I think it's some type of contact dermatitis from the new moisturizer that I tried. It is the only thing in my routine that I added. Again, going back to why it's so important to not layer a bunch of different steps. I know that when I test a product, I just have to test one at a time, and I will test it for a week or 2 weeks because you can have delayed reactions to products. So just one night is not enough. If you then, by the second or third night, if I would have incorporated another new product or another layering step into my routine, I wouldn't have known if it's that layer or if it's the new moisturizer. Just for the sake of being transparent, the moisturizer that caused this reaction for me is the Sophie Pavitt Omega moisturizer that literally just came out. I have seen her reviews. They are absolutely wonderful. She's, you know, an acne specialist in New York, and she works with a lot of different skin types and sensitivities. So I really thought that it would be a great moisturizer for me, and I purchased it, and luckily I patch tested it. This is not me saying that her product is bad. Everyone's skin is so different, which is why it's so important for you to listen to your skin. And ultimately, just because it works for somebody else does not mean that it's going to work for you. And layering a bunch of different skincare products really can just lead to a lot of irritation and a lot of allergic reactions and impairing your skin barrier. So just stick to simple is better. Skincare trend number 2 is going to be dermaplaning, aka shaving your face. Man, oh man, if there is something in my skincare life and years of experience that I regret doing, it is having my face dermaplaned. I have another video on how I finally fixed my clogged pores, and I kind of go into a little bit more detail on my dermaplaning story. But just to sum it up, I basically went in for hydrofacial. I did not ask for dermaplaning. Then the esthetician ended up dermaplaning my face, and lo and behold, for a year and a half after that, I had so many issues that it took me forever to figure out what was going on with my skin, and it was all because of the dermaplaning. Again, let me just preface that I understand that dermaplaning is great and it's like a holy grail for a lot of people, and it's this like huge skincare trend. I don't know how people are dermaplaning by themselves at their home. I highly suggest that you do not do that. It can literally lead to so many issues, especially if you're acne prone. You can spread the bacteria everywhere, or you can create micro cuts in your skin. You're not trained to dermaplane. I don't recommend buying, you know, disposable blades and doing it at home, because so many things can go wrong and you can spread so many different things onto your face. I just don't think it's worth it for smooth makeup application or for products to, you know, seep into your skin more. It's really not worth it. Your hair follicles are there for a reason. They're there to protect you. They're part of your skin barrier. I don't think we should be removing them. I personally had a horrible experience with dermaplaning. It's also expensive, and then it creates all these other issues. Again, if it works for you and you swear by it and you know it's the best thing that ever happened to you, keep doing it. If it brings you joy and it works for your skin, do it. But if you're someone that's considering to do it and you have acne prone skin or very sensitive skin or rosacea, any of those things, I promise you, you're going to be so much more happier if you just don't do it. Avoid any potential risks that come with it. It's really not worth it. It is the biggest thing that I regret doing to my skin, and it is still something that is so viral that so many people are doing at home. And I feel like people think like, oh, it's super normal. If it works for her, it's gonna work for me. That is not the case. Just because you're seeing it on videos on TikTok and just a bunch of, you know, skin influencers or makeup artists doing it, it does not mean that it's going to work for you. And I really think that just avoiding it and keeping your healthy little skin follicles on your face is going to be so much better for your skin health. Lastly, skincare trend number 3 is going to be double cleansing with an oil cleanser. Ooh, I know I'm gonna make a lot of people mad with this one. I know I actually even used to oil cleanse at one point, only to then realize that it wasn't good for my skin and it didn't work for me personally. Again, these are just my personal experiences, and I wish that when I really got into skincare, I had someone else that was saying these things, because these are things that didn't work for me, and it almost seems like abnormal because everyone else was doing them and everyone else was swearing by them. And oil cleansing with an oil cleanser can be a huge contributor also to getting more acne or closed comedones, or even developing fungal acne, because not all oil cleansers are formulated the same. There's so many out there on the market. There are so many that are viral and the best thing, and then if you really start to read the comments, a lot of people are like, hey, this gave me a terrible allergic reaction, or I started getting all these bumps on my skin and all these closed comedones, which is just texture like skin like bumps, or a lot of skin irritation. And they're not all formulated the same. They are not all non-comedogenic, even though non-comedogenic means that it's not supposed to clog your pores. But even how they test that can be, you know, very relative. Some people will still break out from non-comedogenic things, aka like myself. So I know that if it's just labeled non-comedogenic, it does not mean that it's not going to break me out. A lot of times it is just trial and error. But oil cleansing for me personally did not work. It gave me a lot of bumps on my forehead and on my cheeks. And when I started seeing my aunt, who's a derm, it was the first thing she told me to stop. She's like, no, you have combination skin. The oil cleanser, I don't like that. Like, don't do that. Switch over to Bioderma micellar water. And that switch alone was 1,000 times better for my skin. So now I double cleanse at night. I still like to double cleanse with a micellar water first, just to remove sunscreen, any potential makeup I might be wearing, sweat, grime, all that stuff. And then I'll go in with a really gentle water-based cleanser. And that works perfectly for someone with really acne prone, really sensitive skin. I don't play with oil cleansers anymore. It's not worth it for me. I don't feel like it did anything for, you know, my sebaceous filaments, which a lot of people use on their nose to remove like the little, they're called sebaceous filaments that live here that you think are blackheads, but they're not. They're actually part of how your skin produces oil. But oil cleansing, even if you emulsify it correctly, which is how you should oil cleanse if you do, which is obviously rub it in on dry skin, then add water to it to emulsify it, and then kind of wipe it away and go in with a water-based gentle cleanser. Even if you do that, sometimes it is still not enough. Still, some oils don't respond well to your skin, or they might stay on your skin more than you realize. So if you've personally found that incorporating oil cleansing or like balms or anything like that, since you've added that into your routine because everyone is doing it, and you have noticed that your skin isn't responding well to it, or you've had more breakouts, oil cleansing may just not be for you. It just may not be for you. You may have tried different brands and it just doesn't work, and that's okay. Just because it works for someone else doesn't mean that it's gonna work for you. So just stick to a very gentle micellar water. I personally, like I said, like the Bioderma micellar water. It works great for my sensitive skin. You could also just go in twice with a water-based cleanser. That's totally fine as well. That can just be a little bit more stripping, or you could do a milky cleanser and then a water-based cleanser too if you want something more hydrating. Any of those work, but this is your sign that oil cleansing may not be for you, and that is totally okay. So yeah, just also how to avoid these harmful trends. Just really do your research when it comes to ingredients. Consult with a professional, whether you know that's an esthetician or a dermatologist. And also, most importantly, listen to your skin. Your skin is your best friend. It's gonna tell you what works for it and what doesn't. So don't just blindly ignore it. If something is causing burning, itching, like I'm experiencing right now, I am not going to put this moisturizer again on tonight thinking like, oh, maybe it's just a fluke. No, my skin is clearly responding really badly to it, even though everyone was raving about this product. And I know now that, oh well, it just doesn't work for me. It's not something that I can incorporate into my routine. And I am so glad that I patch tested it and I did not put it on all over my face. That's why I always say it's so important to just do like a localized test first, even if it's for a few days, because if you put it on everywhere and you have a delayed reaction, you are going to highly regret that. If I had this whole reaction on my whole face right now, I would be really sad, and it would take me a lot longer to heal it. But yeah, listening to your skin is going to be really the best tip, and just really pay attention to what it's doing, how it's feeling, and select your products and your routine based on that. And just stay away from all these viral skincare trends that, you know, everyone might be swearing by, and then if you realize it's not working for you, then just exit out. It's not for you, and that's fine. And if you got anything from this video, it's the importance of having a simple skincare routine that is completely tailored to you, that your skin is gonna love. I would love to know if you've had a bad experience with any of these skincare trends that I mentioned, or if you had a good experience. If you're someone that is like, dermaplaning transformed my skin, I would love to hear about that too, because again, I love just to know how different people respond to things. Or if you're someone like me that had an absolutely terrible experience from dermaplaning or oil cleansing or layering a bunch of skincare routine products together, I would love to share experiences and see what has worked for you. And if you got any value from this video, please don't forget to give that subscribe button a sweet little tap. I am so grateful to have you here, and I hope to catch you in my next one.